All right, good afternoon, guys. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't be there for eighth period, but it's a pretty easy lesson. So hopefully y'all be able to get it through this video. And there isn't an assignment today, so we'll pick it up on Monday. I just want to kind of introduce parallel and perpendicular slopes. Okay, so as y'all can see, parallel and perpendicular. I have a bunch of original slopes. Okay, so what I did is I gave you 8 different slopes. And we're going to find a slope that's parallel and a slope that's perpendicular. Okay, so hopefully once we go through all of these, you'll kind of see what it means to be parallel and what it means to be perpendicular. Okay, so number 1, my original slope is 5. So my m is 5, right? So when we want to find the slope that's parallel, okay, so parallel slope means, it's really easy. Same slope. Okay, so if my original slope is 5, my parallel slope is going to be 5. It's that easy for parallel. Okay, so for parallel, it's the same slope. Okay, for perpendicular slope, this one's where it gets a little tricky. Okay, this is called, we have to find the opposite reciprocal. Okay, now it's a big fancy word. Y'all probably never heard that before. Opposite reciprocal means we take the number, we flip it, okay? So like numerator to denominator, denominator, numerator, and we change the sign, okay? But now if y'all are looking at this, right? I have 5. So if y'all remember, we can write 5 as 5 over 1, right? Okay. So if I write it as 5 over 1, and I find the reciprocal, I flip it, it turns into 1 over 5. Okay. Now, this is the reciprocal. I want the opposite reciprocal. So what that means is I need to flip it and change the sign. So if this is positive, the perpendicular slope is going to be negative. Okay? And that's it. So parallel, so original slope was 5. Parallel, same thing. You just copy it. Perpendicular, you flip it, change the sign. That's really all there is to it. Okay? Let's go to number 2. So number 2, I have -3. So parallel, easy, -3. Okay. Now perpendicular, we have to think a little bit. Okay. So I need to flip -3 and change the sign. So I'm going to draw a little over 1 here. So instead of -3 over 1, I'm going to flip it to 1 over 3. And see if this is a negative. This is going to be a positive 1/3. Okay, so perpendicular of -3 is a positive 1/3. Not bad. Okay. And number 3, I have 1/2 as my original slope, which means my parallel, same thing, it's going to be 1/2. Easy. Okay. Now the perpendicular. Oh, I wrote this in the wrong color. Perpendicular. Okay, so I have 1/2. Positive 1 over 2. So I'm going to flip it to 2 over 1 and change the sign. This is a positive. This should be a negative. Okay. Now, do I need to say 2 over 1? No, I don't. So it could just be -2. Okay. So my original slope 1/2, parallel 1/2, same thing. Perpendicular, flip it, change the sign. Okay. Number 3. I have -3 over 4, so parallel, again, -3 over 4. Okay, perpendicular, so I'm going to take -3 over 4, flip it, so it turns into 4 over 3. Y'all see that? Top goes to bottom, bottom to top, flip. And this was negative, so this is a positive 4/3. Perpendicular is a positive 4/3. Okay. Number 5. So these are kind of come to like special cases, kind of like we have. So my original slope is 1, right? Parallel slope, easy, still going to be 1. Okay. Now, perpendicular. Okay. So we're going to flip it and change the sign, right? But if we have 1, that's the same thing as 1 over 1, right? So if I flip 1 over 1, it's still going to be 1. Y'all see that? So it would be 1 over 1. Since this is positive, that's going to be a negative. Okay? I don't need to say over 1. So it's just negative 1. Okay? So that's kind of one of those special case type things. So if you have an original slope is 1, parallel is 1, obviously. Perpendicular, negative 1. That's it. Number 6. So now my original slope is negative 1. My parallel, still going to be the same, negative 1. Okay? And now the perpendiculars, hopefully y'all can guess it, it's going to be a positive 1. Right? Because we're going to flip this, change the sign, negative 1 is going to go to positive 1. That's it. And now number 7, again, special case. So say my original slope is 0. Okay? My parallel, obviously still going to be the same thing. Still going to be 0. Okay? It's kind of fake. There we go. 0. Okay? Now, perpendicular to 0. Okay? If y'all remember the 2 special cases, we had 0 slope and undefined. They always kind of find their way together. So if my parallel slope is 0, my perpendicular slope is undefined. Okay, and these are just one of those special cases you have to remember. Okay, all the rest of them you flip, change the sign, opposite reciprocal, right? But when you have 0 and undefined, their parallel and perpendiculars are each other. Okay, so when my slope is undefined, my original slope, parallel, obviously, still going to be undefined. Okay, and then my parallel, again, y'all can guess it, it's going to be 0. I'm sorry, perpendicular is going to be 0. Okay, and that's it. That's really all there is to it. Okay, so regular slopes, any kind of normal numbers other than 0 and undefined, you take the parallel, it's the same slope. That's easy. Y'all should never miss a parallel slope. Okay, and then for perpendicular slope, you take the opposite reciprocal. Okay, you flip it, change the sign. That's really all there is to it. Okay, so there is, again, like I said, there is no assignment today. Just work on any of your other assignments, and then Monday we'll go into a little more detail on parallel and perpendicular, and y'all have your first assignment. Okay, so if y'all have any questions over the break or over the weekend, feel free to email me or actually just email me, and then I will see y'all Monday. Y'all have a great weekend.